If you've got a great offer and you're still not making the type of money you want to make, it could be because you're not charging enough. And I wanted to talk to you today about how you can shift your thinking and shift your pricing to 2x, 10x, or even more your revenue, your income, and to do the same with your profit margins, because that happens when you raise your prices. And I speak to thousands of entrepreneurs every single month, from very, very, very beginners who've never sold anything online to people who are making tens of millions of dollars every year. And I'm able to see where different bottlenecks are. This weekend, I helped facilitate a mastermind at school, the platform that I use for 10 of my memberships. And it was great. It was a great mastermind. There were people from all different walks of life coming in from different places. And one thing that happened that was really cool was there was a woman who wanted to do something. She had a certain industry she wanted to be in, and she had not done it yet. She was very, very early. And there was another woman who had made like $1 million doing the same thing. And so that I had the other woman, the $1 million woman, come up and do a little bit of like live coaching. And the first thing she did was she said, okay, how much do you charge per one-on-one, like to have a one-on-one conversation? And she wrote it out on the board. She wrote it on the board and it was, let's say it was 200. It wasn't exactly this, but let's say it was. She said, okay, cool. Your new rate is this. And now it's 1,200. And it was very simple, but powerful. And it was the audacity of it was jarring for her, I think. But I think what was really powerful is that you can't really deny it in the room because this person has made that money by doing that thing and charging that kind of price. So it was like if we had any if the person had any limiting beliefs about, oh, I can't charge that much, people aren't paying that much, it's immediately gone because you're being told this by someone who actually can and does and has. So it was powerful. And I thought to myself, how many of us are not charging enough? Anytime there is a constraint in my business and what I do, and I have, different things that I work on, but like specifically education, coaching type thing, anytime there's a constraint or there's a lack of money or the month that we're in is doing less than the month prior, what it usually comes down to is I'm selling myself too short. Um, and I'm speaking to the person here right now who has a great offer. You're not figuring out what your offer is. People love your offer when they pay for it and when they go through your program or they go through your course or they have the one-on-ones or whatever coaching or whatever mechanism. It could even be a product that they have, like a physical product or a done for you service. When they get it, when they go through it, they love it. And I mean, they're willing to do a testimonial. They're willing to, you know, do whatever, like tell people about it. But you're doing a few of these and you're still behind. And you're like, why am I so behind when I'm giving out great value? Let me know in the comments right now if you feel this way. If you're someone who has a great offer and you just don't understand why you're not making the amount of money you want to make. Because I'm going to show you how to switch that up right now. But let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're new to the channel, my name is Arlan. I went from being homeless 10 years ago to investing in more than 200 companies. And now I teach entrepreneurs like how to fish, basically. I've spent a lot of time building up a venture fund that invests in people and gives them money because I believe that's what they deserve. And the innovation has been absolutely remarkable. But I think there are far more people than 200 companies. I think there are, 2 million entrepreneurs that I could help just make more money on their own and have the lives and the freedom that they want. And if you're somebody who wants that, just let me know in the comments and make sure you're subscribed. So we're talking about your, tell me if you feel this before, like you have a $99 offer, but you're giving uh $9,900 worth of value. Like, for instance, like you help somebody do something and then like 6 months later you find out that they made more money than you do. Like they charge more money than you charge because of what you taught them. That's going to hit somebody hard. Like they made more money or they charge more money than you do for the same thing that you taught them to do, or the same breakthrough that you gave them, that they're now able to use that with other people. And you want that. You want to give to the world. I mean, that's why we all start this, you know. I know a lot of us want to make money, but the people that I work with, you know, 99% of the people that I work with, talk to, you're doing this for a greater purpose than just money. And so you're excited when someone can go off and do that. But there's a disconnect there, right? It shouldn't equal that, right? You should be paid for that value. It doesn't mean you have to be paid the full amount of that value, but look at the disconnect between these two. And um, one thing that we do is we look around at what other people are doing, what's in the industry, and we say, okay, well, that person is charging that amount and they seem to be doing well, so I'm going to charge that amount. The problem with that is that you have just automatically made yourself invisible in most cases. So you're exactly the same as the next person who can do the same thing that you can do, seemingly, right? Because you're going to set yourself apart. You're a different person. But that's what you're signaling is like, oh, well, okay, let's do it like this. Let's say you went to a movie theater, and when you got to the theater, or you found it online or something, instead of it costing $15 a ticket or $12 a ticket, it cost $50 a ticket. Wouldn't you be curious as to why it costs $50 a ticket? I'm in Los Angeles, and there are two places you can go where a movie ticket or a screen ticket costs between $30 and $100. And the reason is one of them has really comfortable seats, like crazy comfortable seats, and it's like being in a very plush couch. And it's like you're in your living room, but you know, with this huge screen. People come to you, you order food from them. You can push a button, literally push a button, and someone shows up within a minute and takes another order. You can, whispers an order. You can whisper an order to them. You get blankets. Your seats are warm and cozy, and it's an experience, and it's very clean and very much so. There are not that many seats, and it's like an exclusive experience. So tickets cost like $30. Then there's another place that's not really a movie theater. It's an experience. It's like IMAX on steroids. And you go in and you're like watching some sport event, or you're watching some concert or some sort of other kind of experiential thing. But you can pay up to it's even like I've seen tickets more than $100. Like, why am I paying more or the same as I would to be in the stadium watching the game live? Why am I doing that? Because I don't know the degrees, but it covers like almost like a planetarium. The way the seats are set up, you feel like you're in the game in a way that you could not feel even if you were in the stadium front row. You feel like you're on the field or on the court or at the concert on stage almost. And again, people come deliver food to you at your whim, which they charge you more for. but you make it an experience. And because they charge more, listen, every time I go, it's packed. Every time I go, there's not one seat in the house that's empty, and you have to book in advance or it gets sold out fast. There's also a reason that VIP sections of concerts and events sell out. It's because in your audience, this is really important. So this part, pay attention to. In your audience, you have probably, and this has been proven out, and the number is different depending on who you ask, but you have somewhere between 10% and 20% of your audience uh, makes in the US, and this is how we're going to base it, makes six figures or more individually, not even household, meaning they most likely have some extra capital to use each year, and they make buying decisions in a different way than someone who is living off of 3,000 to 5,000 a month. And then you're going to have maybe 1% who makes 1 million plus per year. On top of that, a whopping 10% are paper millionaires. 10% of the people in the United States are paper millionaires, meaning their net worth is $1 million or more. That can be through different assets that they have, stocks, real estate, bonds, ownership of companies, etc., like private companies on paper. So they may be making 80 to 200,000 a year, but their net worth, when you subtract their liabilities, is still over $1 million, which means they most likely have savings or they can pull some liquidity out. They can sell something and turn that into cash. And if you're only offering the $99 thing because you're like, well, I don't want to cut off people. I want to make sure I can sell it. I don't want people to think I'm crazy. I want to sell it. So I'm going to charge $99 because everybody else charges $99. Then these people don't see themselves in that mix. Some of them obviously might buy this, but are they going to spend a lot of time in whatever container you have? Are they going to really go through your course if it's $99, or are they going to just be happy that they own it, that they have it, access to it? Are they going to really do the things that they need to do, or even use the product that you sell them or hand them? Because if they feel like this was a $99 bargain basement thing, if to them $99 is a little bit, to some people $99 is a lot of bit. It's a lot of money. But if you get into the mind of someone where it is not the case, then aren't you putting them in a position where they cannot buy from you? My little iPad is not working for me. I can't find the eraser. So I'll just talk to you. Aren't you in that position where don't you want to be able to meet people where they are the other way around? Because you're trying to meet people where they are and make sure they don't have to spend a lot of money. Don't you want to do that for people who are looking to spend, but they're looking to get a bigger value? They want a transformation. Usually they want things that are fast. They want things that are easy, simple, turned into very easy instruction. So don't you want to give them the opportunity to pay you more? There are some people who won't pay the $99 because they don't believe it's valuable. So for instance, in my ecosystem of entrepreneurs, I used to think that certain people couldn't afford the 99. This is how this is how much I've grown. I used to think that some people couldn't afford the 99 because they weren't spending the 99. And that's just an example of a price. And it was not until I offered something that was 5,000 and even 20,000 where I realized, oh, they were just waiting on something more valuable, or at least seemingly more valuable. Here's the kicker. I teach the same thing in the 99 as I teach in the 20,000. I teach the same thing in the 99 as I teach in the 5,000. If you pay attention enough, if you go through every course and do everything I teach you and do all the things, you'll see that it's the same thing. But because I make it more valuable to the person who's spending more, meaning what's more valuable? The same information, the same teachings, but delivered a different way. Instead of taking 12 months to figure something out, maybe it takes 30 days or even 1 day. Instead of teaching you how to do everything, and I'm going to show you how to do a custom GPT, and this is how you do this thing with AI and that, how about I just do it for you? How about someone on my team just hands it to you? And to do those things is not difficult, but a lot of people just don't want to do the things. Think about something that you do not want to do, that you pay other people to do. Have you ever paid somebody to clean your house? Have you ever paid someone to valet your car so you don't have to walk as far? What could you be the valet for? How could you turn your offer into a valet offer? Where, yes, I could park way down the road there, walk 15 minutes to get to the concert venue to go see Beyonce. Yes, I could do that. Oh, but look, if I pay $50, probably more, if I pay $100, the venue will valet my car. So I can just get out of the car right here and just walk right in to the venue. What could you do that is like that type of offer for your current offer? Now, think about what would save someone who is busy and has extra money. Or even if you're not calling it extra money, they have money to invest in themselves and in convenience and to get themselves out of pain. What could your current offer look like in order to do that? In the comments, let me know if this is starting to resonate with you. We're going to say the word GEM, G-E-M, if any of this is starting to make you think a little bit clearer. Now, if you don't have an offer yet, or you don't know how to structure your current offer in a way that would be like a valet, what I'm describing, one of the things that I'm doing right now, and of course, depending on when you see this, this is early October 2025, is I am doing a sprint and basically teaching people how to make an extra $5, $10, $20,000 over the next few weeks before the end of the year. And each week we have a different theme, and we not only learn, like you can learn all day in all of my memberships, but we're just acting. We're making decisions quickly within 24 hours. We're making decisions. We are committing to those decisions with flexibility, of course, with new data. And we're creating. We're building. We're not just talking about it and hoping that it works and thinking about what will happen next year. We're just doing it. We're making decisions. I'm taking people step by step through those decisions. And we're building so that there's a place for people to pay us. There's a mechanism for them to pay us. We have our offer dialed in. whether we don't have an offer to begin with or we're optimizing one. And we're learning things like, is your offer an, are you doing several offers or are you doing a tier format for one offer? The answer to that is really important. And a lot of people are not getting that right. A lot of people are not getting that right. So that's one of the first things you learn inside of this. So in the description of this video, I have put a link to that sprint so that you can figure out how to price. How do I raise my prices? You saw the example I gave before where the person was charging $200 for their one-on-one. And their new friend said, hey, you're going to charge $1,200 for your one-on-one. And we're going to show you how. And that's what I'm doing inside the sprint. The sprint itself costs $997 as of today, and that is subject to change. It's the lowest it'll ever be, in other words. Imagine you learn one thing and then are compelled to do one thing, one action, take one action inside of the sprint where you, instead of charging $200 for something, you charge $1,200 or something, or $2,000 for it. Can you imagine in 14 weeks or 10 weeks or whenever you join that is possible? And if you believe that that is possible, then it's worth a risk and it's worth an investment. Another thing I want you to know is that when you raise your prices, like I'm going to raise my price on this offer, like, after the first one, I'll raise my price. There's no way I can charge the same thing for this value when so many people are getting so much value from it, right? But one thing that happens when you raise your price, just like the examples I gave before with the theaters, is that you raise the stakes for the buyer. So what do I mean? The buyer, whether it's a lot of money or a little money to them, if they're paying $99, if it doesn't work out for them, they may be a little frustrated because it may be like, I really need it to work out. But it is not the end of the world necessarily. If somebody pays $997, like my Sprint, the stakes are a little bit higher. I think $1,000 is still where almost anybody, even though again, it could be a lot of money to them, it's like, I'm going to give this a try. But imagine I told you that my Sprint was $10,000, which one day it might be. And I said, it's $10,000 for 100 days. And the goal is to put you in a position where you can make $10,000 like that, like it's like in your sleep, to create your offer, to create your sales mechanism, to build traffic, find that audience and bring even more people to it, and to know how to sell and convert those interested parties into high ticket clients. If I said that, there would be a lot of people, the majority, 80% or so, who heard that and said, too rich for my blood. I don't even know if I could, I don't even think I can entertain that because I got other stuff to do. I'm not, it's not working out. I can't do that. Even with a payment plan or something, I couldn't do that. But there are 20% of the people watching this video or who would be in front of me and therefore in front of you at any given time, who would say, wow, if I made that kind of investment, first of all, I'd have to believe I could make it back in that time and make more. And second of all, I'd have to be all in. I couldn't just from the sidelines. The stakes have risen now. I've had people pay me $5,000 and disappear, and I don't see them for months because they just want to have access. But by and large, people who pay $5,000, $10,000 are serious. And if they're serious and their stakes are raised, they're going to do everything in their power to make it work. And if they're game, if they're making it work, if they're like really into it, chances are they're going to have a lot of progress with you. And when they have a lot of progress, it's like a flywheel. When they have progress, that works in your favor. because they're going to tell other people. You can use their testimonials to bring other people in. And three good testimonials, by the way, on a high ticket offer can last you 5, 10 years. So it's worth doing this and testing this and charging more just to get those testimonials so that you can do it again. But going back to it, their stakes have risen. So it's like a different energy. It's a different ball game at this point. There is a reason. I'll say it another way because I really want to bring this home and I really want you to understand how powerful raising your prices can be and how it can change, like how it could change your outlook for the rest of this year from like, I don't know what I'm going to make to like, oh, actually, I'm going to make thousands of dollars or maybe tens of thousands of dollars is, did I lose my thought? I did. I think I might have lost my thought. Oh no. Oh no. Has it ever happened to you where you've just lost your thought? And I'm doing it one take. I'm not editing this. So I got to find it or I got to move on. Have you lost your thought? Let me know in the comments if that has happened. 44. It happened starting at 40. Oh my goodness. And it was good stuff too. Oh, there's a reason. There is a reason that the people who pay me more have more success. Like I can look at a list of the 2,500 or so students that I have in my memberships, each of them magnificent. And if you're one of my students, thank you. I can make a list and I can make a list of the top 10% as far as doing well, as far as like making money, having wins, doing the thing. And not 100% of those 10%, not all 250, but a good majority of them pay me more. And I don't think it's because what I have to offer in the higher ticket uh, uh, offers is so distant from the lower ticket. Because like I said before, I teach the same thing. I think it's because their internal stakes were raised when they put that money down. A clock started ticking for them. And they wanted to make sure that they got their money's worth and more. Not only for themselves, just to make their money back, but also to get out of pain, to get out of the rut, to change their circumstances. Because they were just more serious about it. And the people who I've also seen who make up the other percentage of the ones that are doing really well are people, for instance, in my Your First 5K membership, which just costs $50 a year. Like I don't make money on that, right? Like I make money, obviously, and I know how to make money from it, but I pour that money back into all of my programs and it's a lead magnet at the end of the day. But they're in like a $50 situation. And I can't even count how many have already in like 6 months made $5,000 because they went into Your First 5K. And to them, they said, I want my circumstances to change. I'm in enough pain that I'm going to do everything that is told to me in this program. And I'm just going to do it, even if it's scary, even if it doesn't work the first time. I'm just going to keep going. And they've had these successes. And many of them have ascended in my ecosystem, which is kind of the point. There's a reason I have a Your First 5K membership, in other words. It's so that I can help you make your first 5K and then you can spend that with me. Not all of it if you don't want, but you can spend that. Because you're like, she helped me make $5,000 from nothing. What is the next frontier? So I've had people from that go to a 1K offer like my Sprint, or a 5K offer like Inner Circle, or even a 20K offer like my YouTube studio, where I produce your YouTube videos for you. And can you imagine if I only had the $50 offer? Because I'm like, that's what people can afford. It's hard out there. It's tough times. That's what they can afford. Therefore, that's what I'm going to give them. If I didn't have the offer, if I simply hadn't made the offer, having something for people where they are, can you imagine what that might look like? What that would look like is a constant grind to get as many views as possible across my platforms on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn. And constantly, every single day, this grind that I could not keep up with, even with my resources and even with my determination and my grit, would not want to keep up with. Burnout, city, bitterness, not really happy with the whole thing. Just constantly like, oh, I have to get thousands and thousands of people. I'd have to get 20,000 people to join my membership to get $1 million. Instead, right now, it's like, oh, maybe 100 to 200 people make $1 million for me. So 20,000 people or 10,000 people, if you're doing like a $97 thing, 10,000 people to say yes means you got to talk to 100,000 or a couple hundred people to make $1 million. So when you're thinking about the next few weeks for yourself, think about what I'm saying to you and think about where I'm coming from as I say it. I'm going to remind you of a couple of things. Yes, I've raised $30 million. I've invested in 200 companies. I think that's quite impressive. And I think I've helped reshape venture capital, at least a part of the ecosystem, 100%. But I also just got a plaque from Stan Store for making $100,000 in 3 months as an entrepreneur. I also won the school games, which I've won. I won it my first month because I saw it, I understood it, you know. I also got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I had 150,000 in 12 months joined. And every day, thousands of people watch my videos on here because I just figured it out. They didn't know me before. Most people who see me on YouTube did not know me before and all the other stuff. They just found me on YouTube because I figured it out. So what I'm saying to you is, you know, I haven't even listed off the things. I have 4 companies. I have a joint venture with a very famous billionaire, et cetera, et cetera. What I'm saying to you is success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. I can tell you with confidence that I know how to make money. We may have different styles and opinions of how to spend it, but I know how to make it. I throw a lot back into investing in myself and in my companies. And I think I take a risk that others would find hard to do when it comes to that. But the making it part, oh yeah. Not only can I do it, and I prove that over and over again, but I know how to teach it. So that's why I have my memberships, because like I said earlier, I have affected, you know, 200 companies in one way or another by investing in them. But I believe that there are 2 million entrepreneurs out there. I've said openly that I want to help 1,000 people become millionaires over the next 10 years. And that started like a year and a half ago. So I want to do that. But I also think even beyond the millionaire status, there's even cooler stuff ahead, right? So 2 million people at least learning from me how to make money, how to fish. Teach a man to fish and they'll eat forever, right? So it's like if you hand a person a fish, they'll eat for a day. If you teach a person to fish, they'll eat forever. That is really the energy that I'm in right now. And I'm putting you on game right now. I'm telling you, you're not charging enough. And it's because you're scared. You're scared that people won't buy or that they'll think you're foolish for even suggesting it. Maybe you don't have a $99 offer. Maybe you have $1,000 offer or even a two or $5,000 offer. But what I'm telling you is the same thing I tell myself all the time is that you need to charge more. If you have sold a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 offer, create, like if you've sold a $2,000 offer, do you have a $10,000 offer? Maybe you 3 years ago would never imagine you would have a $2,000 offer. So if you're not imagining you could have a $10,000 offer, talk to yourself from the past and say, "Ah, we made it to 2,000." If you have a 10,000, I know I just spoke to someone a couple weeks ago who had $11,000 offer, who's in one of my memberships. $11,000 offer. She sold it multiple times. So we started talking about her $25,000 offer and her $100,000 offer because what she does is really powerful and transformational. And there are people out there who they simply want the answers handed to them, or they want it to be easier. They want to learn something with more expertise than something really cheap or inexpensive could give them. And here's another thing. Let me give you another piece of another insight. Is my 5K members, 5K cohort in my inner circle. Um, Let me tell you first what they get, and then I'll tell you kind of the idea that I have here. So they get something that is a $25,000 offer. I just started like in the last like year or so, I changed the price for a couple of reasons internally, having nothing to do with the ability to sell it at the higher price. It was more like a personal fulfillment thing. And they get a VIP day with me with two other people, which on its own is more than that. They get my phone number, my true phone number, and they call me like on this phone. They get um they get calls with the group every month, which are really powerful. Replays, of course. They get this, they be part of this incredible group of people um, who are on their energy level, right? And they've collaborated a ton if they want to. Some people don't like that. Some people do love that. And then they get these bonuses that happen throughout time. Like I just took like 4 people from Inner Circle to courtside with me at LA Sparks women's basketball earlier this summer, or like, earlier this fall. And we're having a big meetup in December with everybody in person in LA, my treat. So that my treat there, I mean, they're getting themselves there. So they get all of that. And the promise and the expectation is very high of you're getting this proximity to me. We're going to try to transform. You also get access to our genius sales expert, Colin Yearwood. And he just is transforming lives left and right. So you get a closer proximity to him as well. And you get all the behind the scenes stuff. Like, if you're able to text me anytime you want, you can ask me anything. They paid 5,000. Obviously, it's a much more expensive, should be more expensive. Point of it is, though, I have to chase some of them down to remind them of their benefits. Because people who pay you more are actually lower maintenance for the most part. Every once in a while, you'll run into somebody who is like, oh, I paid you this much. I own you now. And then you have to like politely fire them as a client because that does not work. It's too toxic and draining. But like 98% of the people who have paid me 5,000 to 20,000 individually, like individuals, I get paid more by corporations, but like individuals, 20, not even 20, 25, right? 98% are so low maintenance that I have to remind them of their benefits. So, what are we learning here? You're making more money, you're working with fewer people, you're doing less work because it's fewer people who are lower maintenance, and you're transforming in bigger ways. On top of that, you have higher profit margins because you're essentially doing the same thing you were doing before with the other offer, but you're able to scale it without a ton of people working with you if you do it a certain way, like the way that I teach. All of these are benefits. Now there are some downside to it. You now have a responsibility that is higher, and if you have any kind of refund requests or any kind of issues where you do have to fire a client, that is a chunk of money that you need to always have on the side. Always have, a percentage of your sales that you have in an account that can be used if something goes awry. Not only if there's a request for a refund, but if there's somebody that you simply do not want to work with anymore, it's your prerogative not to work with them. And the easiest way to make that difference is to say, here's your money back. Please go away. We are not going to work out. So having the ability to do that, it's harder to do that. And you have so many people to deal with when you're doing low ticket. Now, low ticket is actually, I did tell you that, people in low ticket ascend and work. And I don't want you to think that I do not like working with low ticket uh, uh, buyers. It's where I pull all of my energy and insights for anything else I do. It's where I get the most, I would say, like fulfillment of spreading the word to 2 million people. It's where I see the most amazing light in people. You get to meet so many people. But what I am saying is that if that's your core, is I'm going to sell this $300 course over and over and over again so I can become a millionaire, you're totally missing out on the 80%, really. Like the $300 course is a great part of the funnel, part of the staircase, the customer journey. But the $3,000 6-week cohort is where the money is going to come from. The true money is going to come from. I often think through, like I think through this stuff all the time. I'm still figuring it out on a day-to-day basis. And when I learn something, I like to bring it to you. Which is, I think about, in this case, what are people doing to make money? Like, do you just, like, a simple question, what are people who are making money, what are they doing? And most of the people who I know personally who've made a lot of money, who make millions of dollars a year, stack, 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 and do so, and they seem, at least from afar, or as they tell me, to be happy with that. They are usually selling something between $1,000 and $10,000. And they're selling it to one type of person or group so that everything they do makes it more of a flywheel. Like the more energy they put behind their content, it's so focused because it's niche that reaches people. People join, people have success. They tell other people. That success can be documented and put into content and so on and so on. And so that's one way that they can just crank that. Another way is just by working with the same type of person over and over again, same price, or having, tiers. Again, we talk about the tiers inside of my sprint. The description is below. The description has a link below where in my sprint, I'm showing you how to do this. I'm telling you right now, on this YouTube video. I'm telling you the premise of all of this. But inside the sprint, I'm showing you how to do it, like step by step hand holding. But the people I study, by and large, they have something 1,000 to 10,000 because they teach it over and over again, or they produce it. Maybe it's a done for you. Uh, they hand you the website. They hand you the blueprint. They're able to get better and better and better at it. And because they're able to get better at it, the value goes up. And so they are honing their craft. Instead of like saying, okay, that worked. Now let me go do this thing. Let me go try it over there and we try that. They're just like getting better and better and better. I'm getting my black belt in this. And they also have more than one pricing tier. Something cool that is happening soon, and you may see this after it already happened, but probably by the end of October 2025, we will finally have at school, SKOOL, where I spend a lot of my time, we'll probably have tiers as a feature. And tiers will enable us to have different versions of our school membership. If you want to have a school membership, not everybody needs one or should have one, but different versions of it priced differently, including a free version to then a paid, like, lower tier, then a high tier. You can have up to 3 prices. That's an entirely different video. I'll walk you through that. Let me know in the comments if you've watched this far and you want me to walk you through the tiers on school so that you're prepared for it. Just let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video about it. If I get enough people that say they do. But that is like a perfect example of how this works. You want people to be able to meet you. A lot of the people that I work with or that I meet, I get to hang out with entrepreneurs all the time. They're just such big hearts. Like they really care about a group of people specifically. Usually like they care about the world, but there's like a group of people that they want to see win. Can you relate to that? Like there's a group, like I have a group of people I want to see win, right? Underestimated entrepreneurs, essentially. And because they want to see that group win, they're trying to find a way to make it accessible to all of them, like their product or their offer. So they just charge so little. So like everybody can come in. But then the problem is a couple things. One is they get burnt out because they have to deal with so many people. They have to be everything to so many people. And they have to deal with this request and that request and this request. And the pricing is so low that they're still not making enough money for it to be viable. So they have a lot of people that they owe their time to and their energy to, but they're still not making enough because they price so low that even with hundreds or dozens of people buying, it's not enough. The unit economics don't work, so to speak. And then they get so burnt out, they get so jaded, they get so behind and like feeling like the world is against them. They actually give up the thing and then nobody has access to it. When instead, this is what I say, this is kind of like the ultimate way of looking at this, is instead sell the thing for 10 times as much to 10% of the people who not only can't afford it, and I use that term a little loosely because sometimes people can afford it, but they don't want to pay. So it's like you don't necessarily know who can and cannot afford it. But the people that sell it to the 10% of people who will buy it for 10 times the amount, make more money and keep finding those people. Like once you sell it to a few of those people, just do everything you can, like Don't even double that, like 100x your effort of what you're doing to find those people over and over and over again to speak to them. Have them pay for the thing that you're helping them with. They have the transformations. They get all of the great uh, transformations. Then you're able to do whatever you'd like with this other part of the audience, this 90% of the audience. You have a viable business that is keeping you afloat. It's going, you're thriving because of the 10%. Therefore, you can do whatever you'd like with the 90%. I'll give you my world as an example. Because I charge people five to $20,000 individually, and I charge businesses $100,000 or more, I am able to afford the ability to charge just $50 for a $5,000 program in your first 5K. I'm able to spend time here on YouTube and make 600 videos that if you were to just watch 20 of them, you could have your entire empire built for free. I'm able to do that and post almost daily, long form on YouTube because I'm not chasing $50 clients, $100 clients. So if I get a video that is watched 100 times or 1,000 times rather than 10, 100,000 times, it's cool because I'm reaching the people I want to reach because they're going to go over. Like right now, this video is a great example. Some people will go from this video to the description below and they'll join my sprint. My sprint is $1,000. It's a it's it's kind of a no-brainer. It's discounted, right? But they'll join my sprint and then I'm able to help them have major transformation in a short amount of time. And then the rest of the people who watch this for free now have this access. So it's like the best of both worlds. And this is what you could do starting today. You just look at your products, your offers, and you say, what is a valet version of this? How can I get people closer to their goal faster and charge 2 times, 5 times, 10 times more? Maybe even more than that.